What up? I don't look like this when I work. I'm just trying to help you out because I'm a talking head video. I don't want to distract you with my... So I've been talking about this book called The E-Myth, right? Where I laid out the different hats that we wear. So the technician, the manager, and the entrepreneur. And then at the end of that video, so what does this mean? Like, now that we've learned what the rules are, what does it actually mean for us wedding photographers with that information? What are we gonna do with it? What I'm doing with it, I don't know what you're gonna do with it. What I'm doing with it, okay? And then maybe it'll spark some idea in your business, is that, so now that we have this sort of definition for those things, is that the next thing to do is kind of understand the states or the phases of business. So basically there are 3 phases. First phase, infant phase, is what you're doing right now. You're doing all the work basically yourself. You're doing all the shooting, you're doing all the editing, you're doing all the meeting with clients, you're doing all the marketing for yourself, your taxes for yourself maybe. You're attempting to manage all your clients. You're attempting to create new ideas of marketing as the landscape kind of keeps changing. So that's the infant stage of business in your business, basically. The second phase is called the adolescent phase. Now the adolescent phase is where you start to get some growth. Now you start to need some help. You realize that you can't do everything yourself. And so during the adolescent phase, you're trying to create, perhaps you're trying to hire on people to help you with the tasks that you do. This is gonna be my really rudimentary demonstration. Okay, imagine you're the rubber band, okay? So you're the rubber band. Bing, hello, I'm a rubber band today. And then we talked about the rules of being as a business owner. Entrepreneur, technician, manager. This is you. You got 3 hats on. You're doing all the things. You're in the infant stage of business. Can you see that? All 3 hats. You're in the infant stage of business because you do everything. And you just, when you get that email, you get that inquiry, you just react to it, right? There's no plan, there's no system, you just do. All right, cool. Everybody starts out here, okay? Now, imagine now, you're in the ocean and these weigh a couple of pounds each, right? They're kind of like weights. They weigh you down. You're in the ocean. You're in the ocean of wedding photography. And this is a big ocean, okay? And so if we think about the floor of the ocean, which is ground zero, you just started, you're a newbie, you have all this ocean here, and then you have the top of the ocean where you come up for air and actually reach the last stage of business, or the ultimate stage of business, which is maturity. In between is the adolescent phase, and it's very, 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 very hard for somebody to kind of break through the adolescent phase if they're not well educated, if they don't have a system, and if they don't do what I'm just going to show you right now. So you got the 3 hats, right? So in order to get past the infant stage, which a lot of us are at right here, maybe we have a little bit of help, maybe we have a wife, maybe we have an email corresponder, maybe we have like a second shooter or something like that. But for the most part, we're still here. We're still here at the bottom of the ocean and we're in the infant stage. So in order to kind of rise above, we have to start taking off some of these hats, okay? Like the big main ticket items of these tasks. So like shooting weddings, editing. Maybe I still want to shoot because I'm a passionate photographer. So I decide I only want to shoot what I want to shoot. Everything else that's going to pay my bills and stuff like that, we need to create a system or maybe a team like I have to be able to shoot those weddings, because those photographers only want to shoot. They don't want to run a business. They don't want to even bother with the ideas of managing other people, managing their own business, being an entrepreneur. They just want to shoot. They want to be technicians and they love it. They love it. Okay, cool. So now we can kind of take this hat off. Boom. What happens now? We get a little bit lighter. We get a little bit lighter, and now we have alleviated some of our tasks as a business owner. And so we keep doing this. We keep finding ways. Okay, now we need to figure out what are the main systems of order that I can bring to my business, that I can hand off to somebody who knows how to do that, who's going to help me manage my business, who's going to keep my team in track, who's going to create order and create predictability throughout my business, so that in any case, if something happens to me, if I'm dead tomorrow, or if I'm sick, or I want to go across the world to this really tight convention where I'm learning all these cool new ideas, but it's in the dead of wedding season, I can do that because I got a team to hold my shit down, because I've developed this manager person or people or team or whatever to help me run my business. Okay, boom, you drop that weight, you hand it off, you get a little bit lighter now, right? And that, when you get that done, you kind of like go like this, like woo. Then you're gonna like woo, get way up here, because what happens is you have your entrepreneur hat still left on, and this hat has like that big twirly what is that, propeller on the top, and it's gonna make you rise, because now you're only doing things that you really want to do, right? So maybe they're really high ticket, premium photography jobs and stuff like that, or you're going to conventions and doing crazy like styled shoots, or working with things that are, or working with film, right? Things like that. So things that are, if you're a digital shooter, things that are challenging you, things that are bringing you new ideas, new ways of innovating your company. Now you're an innovator. Now you're an entrepreneur, a true entrepreneur. So you've got your cash flow issue figured out. You've got the team in place to help make sure that your cash flow is still coming in, and you still have the time, energy, mental space to take on new ideas, because you've off-handed all that stuff and became an entrepreneur. Bam. And so with that, it's going to take you to basically the surface of the ocean, where you can take a deep breath and be like, whoa, now I can see everything, right? So that's basically where you want to go. That's where I want to go, and that's how I see it. That's how I see this information, and it's how it's going to help me. How it's going to help you is however it's going to help you. And here's, when I started reading this book called The E-Myth, it drew a lot of inspiration on little mom and pop shops, like a bake shop, like a pie shop, right? And it also drew on big things like, or a big business like McDonald's or Taco Bell, or, you know, what, a Popeye's chicken or something like that. You think of a chain, you think of a franchise. And I always thought that franchise meant no heart, right? Because when I think about McDonald's, I was thinking more about like, well, it's like low quality, you know? It's low quality. I still love McDonald's. Like, I go, you know, chicken nuggets, hell yeah, all day. So I was thinking like, dude, wedding photography can't be like McDonald's. It's personable and it's intimate, and it's this, you know, individual connection that we have with the individual photographer. But that was just my limited brain before reading this book and before understanding the big picture, which is, when you say franchise, what do you immediately think? Like chain, like not personable? Like that was my assumption. But in actuality, franchise just means whatever that business is, and it's franchised, they have a particular way of doing things, a particular set of habits that make that business what it is. There are many fast food chains. They're all fast food. So we can make that parallel as well. We can be like, well, there's all these photography companies, but they do it a certain way. And so that's what I'm saying is, in order for you to reach that point of franchising your business, this is basically what that is offhanding and giving people their task, and actually being like, well, Bells and Laces Photography could have a branch here in California, we could have a branch in Arizona, or wherever, like we could have a branch in New York, wherever the market may take us. And in learning all of these things, like how to create a system where the technicians do the technician work, where the manager does the manager work, and you, the entrepreneur, may take on a partner or two or whatever and be an entrepreneur. Those are your habits and your ways of doing your type of business. Even though there are many wedding photography business out there, even though there are many fast food chains out there, there's a particular way of doing things. Like McDonald's fries and chicken nuggets taste a particular way. So even though they're kind of lower on the food scale, they're still a very successful business model, in terms of growth and reaching maturity and having a specific way of doing things. I want a lifestyle, a certain lifestyle, and I want to use my business to support that lifestyle, which is I want a solid 2 teams, you know, for my company, and have somebody to manage that, have a really good team where they are almost self-sufficient, and everybody is doing what they want to do, and I'm doing what I do and pushing the company forward, recruiting people all the time when people turn over, being able to recognize good talent when I see it, and being able to support the lives of the people who are involved in my company. That's what I learned. And that's basically the whole book and what I'm taking from it, and I'm moving on and keep reading some new ones so that I can find those people, so I can hand off these hats in the proper way. Right now, that's what it is. It's like I'm in the transition period trying to figure out, that's what I'm doing. I hope it inspires you to maybe read that book, and you know, you'll take from it the things that are going to work for you or what speaks to you. And I think it's really important that at least we take the time to educate ourselves. I hope that helps you. Check out that book. There's many more like it. We continue on with this book club. The next one I'm going to read is this guy, Remote. And the reason why I want to read this is, like, if you ever are going to create a team, and most of the time we can't afford business offices and things like that, so we run our teams from our laptops, right? So that's kind of like my next thing is, how do I encourage team culture and team spirit from my house and everybody else working in their house? Like, how can we get people on board and be motivated to act more like a team? And what does that even mean too? What is it, act like a team? I don't know. We're gonna find out together here on this channel. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.